Hello, today's the third day in our mini unit. We are now switching gears a little bit to do reflections and translations. We're reflecting and translate different objects on our coordinate plane. So first, this word transformation is just moving a figure to a new location. We actually did this when we compared graph. We translated the graph when we compared to our parent function up or down. We translated up 2 units or down 2 units or whatever it was. We might just be translating to the left or to the right or up or down. A reflection is flipping our picture or image over the y-axis. And we like to think of this like a mirror. You see a reflection in a mirror, you're seeing exactly the same thing, just backwards or opposite. Okay? If you raise your right hand in the mirror, it's really your left hand being raised. So is the image reflected over the x-axis or the y-axis? When we have 2 letters, for example, A is always going to be the original image. If it has a little 1 or a little tick mark next to it, we call that prime. So A is original. This would be your original figure. The A prime would mean you reflected it. That's your new image. So this picture here was the original, and they reflected it onto the other side of our y-axis. So this one is reflected over the y-axis. This one, you can see here's our original because it's just irregular letters. Here we have P prime, R prime, and Q prime. It's reflected across the x-axis. This one, you can see it's on either side of the y-axis right away. Again, here's our original picture, and it's flipped over to the other side. It's like folding your paper in half on that line on this y-axis. And then our last picture here, A was started out down here, and we reflected it across the x-axis. If we folded our paper in half, all of these would match up one side and the other. So a translation then is not a reflection, it's more like a slide. It's just moving from one spot to another spot. So for example, here was our original figure because we have the primes, no prime, just the letters A, B, and C. And then over here we have our new image, A, B, C, A prime, B prime, C prime, because that's our new image. So horizontally, like the horizon, left to right, our figure, just pick one point, I'm going to pick A, moved how many spaces up or down or left or right? Horizontal is left to right. So we moved our figure 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces right. So we're going to say moved right 4 spaces. Then our vertical move up and down. Vertically we moved down 1. Down 1 space. We don't need the S on there. Move down 1 space. Any of our points move to the right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1. All of them move to the right 4 and down 1 to get each of our new points. You don't need to move all the points, just move 1. So here we can see this was our original figure because there's no little tick marks or hash marks on the letters. This was our original, and it's moving over here. So horizontal, left and right, which way did our figure move? We're moving to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So moved left 6 spaces. And vertical move, did it move up and down? It moved nowhere. It moved 0 spaces. So we don't really need this word here because it didn't move left or right. If you want to move none, you could write that, but you don't need to. Alright, now we're going to actually do some transformations here and reflections. It says graph and list the new coordinates. Reflect first over the x-axis. So we're going to flip over this line right here. our old coordinates they gave us, we're going to have to find the new ones in a minute. So, easy way to do this is to count. From the x-axis, we're one space away here, so going one space in the other direction, that's where our new t would be, and we call it t prime, because that's our new point right there. We were one space down, so we're really one space up. And then our letter down here, I, is 1, 2, 3 away from the x-axis, so 1, 2, 3, right here, that's our new I, or I prime. Oops. Right here is I prime. So we don't really need all of the lines to help us count. I'm just showing you how we get our points. And then over here, we're one down for E, so one up for E. That would be E prime. And then we can connect our dots. We reflected our figure over the x-axis. So let's list our new coordinates. T used to be at -5, -1, but now it's at -5, up 1. E used to be at -1, -1, but now we're at -1, +1. So if you can see, our y coordinate, xy, it's on the other side. Instead of being on the negatives for y, now we're on the positive side. Instead of a -1, we're +1. Instead of -1, +1. Instead of -3, our new point I is going to be at -5 up 3. So you can kind of see that we could have predicted our new coordinates without even drawing it. This one we need to reflect over the y-axis. So we're reflecting over this line right here. A was at 3, 3. 3 to the right and up 3. So if we reflect it, we are 1, 2, 3 spaces away. So 1, 2, 3. This right here is our new A point, A prime. We are at, remember listing our points x then y, we went -3 and now up 3. So our point here is still at a +3. The only thing that moved was our x coordinate. So we're reflecting over the y-axis. Our x is changing from positive to negative, negative to positive, and vice versa. So there's A. Now we can also reflect B and C. B is 1, 2, 3 away, so 1, 2, 3. There's B prime on the other side, and C is only 1 unit away, so 1 on the other side, there's C prime. We need to connect all of our dots to draw our new triangle. And it should match or reflect perfectly across the y-axis. So these points here, B is at -3, -1, and C is at -1 up 2. As you can see, all of our points, the x term, come on now, the x term, whatever term we had, changed from a positive to a negative because of that reflection. Alright, here we have a rectangle. It says translate the unit, or the triangle. What is going on here? This is not a triangle. Rectangle, 6 units left. Graph and list the new coordinates. So I'm going to graph it first just because I find that easier. So from here, we're going 6 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is our new z prime. It went 6 units to the left. Then we need to move y. From here, 6 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's y prime. If you want, you could probably figure out the whole rest of this shape without counting 6 to the left, because x is 2 down from y, and w is 2 down from z. Oops, w. W prime and x prime. We have the same figure, just 6 units to the left. So to the left, we moved it on our x-axis 6 units this way. So we took whatever number we were at, 6, and minus 6 is at now 0. If we were at 2, we went 6 to the left, we're now at -4. So that's an easy way to help us think about our coordinates. Our x part of our coordinate moved 6 to the left. So for example, they want w first. W was at 2, 2. Well, now we're at -4, 2, because we took our x coordinate and moved it 4 spots to the left. Then our x coordinate, we were at 6, 2, but now we're at 0, 2. Y was at 6, 4, but now we're at 0, 4. And then z was at 2, 4, but now we're at -4, 4. So our y coordinates stayed the same because we didn't move up or down. Our y-axis is up and down, remember? X is left to right. Because we moved left to right, that means we're moving our x part of our coordinate. I would like you to try this one on your own, and then click play to see if you got it right. It says translate the triangle, this one's actually correct, 2 units right and 1 unit down. So 2 units to the right, I'm just going to start with L. 2 to the right would be here, but we're also going 1 unit down. So there's our new L, L prime. Then I'm going to do K, 2 units to the right and 1 down. There's K prime. And J, 2 to the right and 1 down, J prime. So we're going to connect our dots to create our triangle. Should have the exact same shape, just 2 to the right and 1 down. So in terms of our coordinates, our new points, we can kind of think here. On our x-axis, we went 2 to the right, so all of these numbers should be +2, right? Instead of at 1, instead of j being at 1 right here, we are now at 3. And then our y-axis, our y-coordinate, we moved down 1, so we really subtracted 1. Instead of being at 2, we're now at only up 1. So 3, 1. Then 5, 2 was our point K here, but we moved 2 more to the right, so now we're at 7. But we moved down 1, instead of at 2, we're at 1 right here. And then our last point, L, we were at 3, 5. We moved 2 to the right, so now we're at 5. Down 1, so now we're at 4. 5, 4. Those are our new coordinates. Your homework is